Hey everyone, how's it going? We're back with more Outward. I have a new monitor today, which is a interesting story I'll talk about here in just a second. I just have to log into Streamlabs again, because I have to every single time that I play this for some reason. Not even this, but like streaming. It's like every other day I do this, and then it's like, no, you have to relog into Streamlabs for some reason. Anyway, yeah, so a couple things have changed with my setup. Nothing that you guys should really see. But, yeah. So I've been having this issue with my old monitor where... Oh boy, I have to remember my rune stuff too. I've been having this issue with my old monitor where I was having some horizontal lines on the bottom of my screen appearing, and I didn't really know that it was a monitor issue because I tried to take it and plug it into another PC that I had. I had a DisplayPort and the monitor, or DisplayPort cable and the monitor, same ones that I plug into my monitor that I use on my desk. Took those to the other PC, plugged them in. Everything appeared fine. Completely normal, fine, natural. I was like, what the heck? What's that all about? And so I thought it was my graphics card in my PC, because it was literally the only difference between the two. Was one is rocking a 4070 Ti, my computer, and then the other one was using a 2080 Ti, which was my dad's computer. And so I was like, well, it's gotta be the graphics card, I guess. But people online were insistent. They were like, look, make sure you test another cable. Even if the same cable looked fine on another PC, just test another cable and try a different monitor on your PC. Well, the unfortunate thing is I didn't have any other monitors that use DisplayPort. My setup is... It works. It's one of those types of setups, you know? I think my webcam's a little off, too. I want to fix that if I can. It's a bit of a mess. There, that should be a little bit better. It's one of those setups where it works. And, like, it's good. It's a good setup. I'm not going to make it sound like it's terrible, but... My other monitor that I use is a 32-inch TV that I've had since, like, 2012 or something, a long time ago. It's a Samsung TV. Shout out to Samsung TVs. My god, they last forever. I've never had a problem with Samsung TVs. And honestly, it's a 1080p 32-inch TV. It's fine. It's got, I think, a 60 hertz refresh rate. And man, back in the day, I used to sit down and play games on my Xbox 360 with this TV sitting on a... What is that? That's another one of those blood dog things. I used to sit down with this TV and play my Xbox 360. Used to play, like... Oh, I think he's gonna attack them. Good. I'll let them fight it out. Because I need to drink... Oh, no, I need to eat food. What food do I have? I guess I have this cheesecake. Not that it matters too much. Anyway, I used to sit down and play Dark Souls 1 and 2 on my Xbox 360. I would play, like, Red Dead Redemption 1 and a bunch of other fun games on that. And really way back in the day, I used to play on a CRT TV, and I think that started having picture problems finally after like freaking 15 years or something. So I got the Samsung TV, bought it with my own money. I love this TV. So that's my other monitor. And I have no reason to switch it because I don't use it for anything. I use it for chat. I use it for, you know, whatever. If I'm playing a game, I have another screen. Like, I play a lot of Destiny, and there's some fun apps and stuff for Destiny that lets you manage your items a little bit better and stuff. There's websites that help you, like, calculate armor stats and stuff. all that can be done on the other monitor. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be, I don't need it on the good monitor. So, but that runs on HDMI, and the TV that we have downstairs runs on HDMI, and that's what my dad used as his monitor too, because my dad cares more about picture quality than he cares about like frame rates and stuff like that. So when he was playing on his PC, he wanted like the most beautiful looking game that he could have, as long as it ran, you know, 60 FPS or whatever. And so I didn't have another thing to test DisplayPort on, so I had to go out and I had to buy another monitor. And I was like, okay, I talked to the people. I went to Best Buy and I was like, hey, I'm looking at monitors. I'm not sure if I have a monitor issue, but like it's either that or the graphics card, and I'm really hoping it's not the graphics card. And so they said they had a 2-week return policy with it. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And the new monitor works well. I don't have any issues. So it had to have been a monitor issue, I guess. Because I haven't seen anything. And I've had this now for approaching 24 hours. And I gamed pretty much all day yesterday to really test it out and make sure it was working. I played some Destiny. Oh, yeah, you really do have to swap off of this. That's such a weird bug. I don't know what causes that to happen, but you really do have to, like, put it away. There's that queued punch, and now it's fine. But yeah, I played a bunch of, like, Destiny yesterday, and I watched some stuff on it, and yeah, everything seems to be good. So that is the tale of how I have a surprise new monitor that I wasn't really expecting to have. And this monitor is better than my other one. My other one was a 1080p, 120 hertz monitor, which at the time was well above what I was going to be able to do most of the time, because my other graphics card when I got that monitor was a GTX 1080, or not 1080, 1070. So, 1070s are not the most powerful of cards. And, so I was telling myself with my other monitor, I was like, I'm never going to push past 1080p. I don't need that. This card isn't that powerful where any game I really play is going to be anything better than 1080 at 60 more than likely. And if I do play a game where I can get 120, 120 is as high of a refresh rate as I care about. Would I like to push a game beyond that? Absolutely. I would love... let me just guess that this thing is not ready. I would love to get... Yeah, it says thirsty still, so we're a long ways from that. I would love to push... Wow, this place is bigger than I thought. I'd love to push my games to higher frame rates, but I personally don't think with my current hardware that that's really possible. Unless I really turn down the graphics, but I do like my games to look pretty good, so... I guess we are a tad overweight. I got all this meat that I gotta cook up. But yeah, so this new monitor that I ended up getting was a 1440p monitor, 180 hertz refresh rate, so slightly better than my other one. And it comes with HDR, so that the colors and everything are way more vibrant. I was gonna say, please have arrows, and the game has rewarded me with arrows. Thank you. So the HDR is pretty nice. I don't think it is enabled a lot of times, but yeah, I I mean, it had FreeSync and G-Sync and all that other stuff, but my old monitor had that. So the new stuff that I have on my monitor is that this is 1440p HDR 180 hertz. My other one was 1080p 120 hertz with FreeSync, G-Sync, you know, all that fun stuff. And if anybody cares about what type of like panels and stuff like that, it is a IPS panel, so it's not OLED. Which honestly, I think for me, I kind of prefer IPS panels right now still, because OLED has an issue with screen burn still. It's not very common, but I still hate that the possibility exists. And it really doesn't for IPS panels. It just really doesn't. Because there have been times where, like, I've gone to bed, I'm, you know, really tired or whatever, and I don't turn my monitors off. I let them go to sleep, but sometimes, for whatever reason, my monitor doesn't go to sleep. I've had that happen a handful of times, really not that often. But I've had that happen a couple times where it doesn't go to sleep, and they end up staying on all night. And if that happens, you can get burn-in on your OLED monitor. It doesn't necessarily happen, but it can happen. And that just really sucks, because then you permanently have an image, like, burned into your screen no matter what you do. And OLED monitors are more expensive because they typically offer better and brighter color. Oh, it's another one of those Immaculates or whatever, and those are probably 2 dead mantises, so that's free loot. It's not an Immaculate, it's an Illuminator, I think is what they're called. So yeah, I mean, I still, at the current time, prefer IPS panels. I'm trying to remember what IPS actually stands for. But basically, as far as I understand it, IPS is basically like, it's not LED versus non-LED, because even with OLEDs they have LEDs, but it's like, because OLED is like organic LED or something, and I don't really remember what organic means. Like, I mean, I know what that word means, but what it means in that context. What about that screen is organic? But OLEDs boast better color because of how they're built. The LEDs shine through a layer of something, some material that gives it better, more vibrant color. I really don't need this extra meat if I'm just gonna... I have 15 jerky, which is 7.5 pounds, which is maybe more than what all that meat was. I'm not sure. I guess I gotta get back to town, and the best way to do that's gonna be via train, I guess. My bag is really heavy because of all the mana stones and stuff that I found. Oh, these are not dead. I really thought they'd be dead. Well, where's the Illuminator? That's Buzu. I don't want that. Illuminator! Illuminator! I need your help. Come here. You'll fight the mantises. I know you will. I think what I'm gonna do is shed the backpack, because now I'll be able to move. And then, come here, Illuminator. Don't hit me with anything, though. I don't want that yet. Yeah, there you go. You guys fight each other now. You'll do that. Yeah, there we go. And because I shed the backpack, now I can just sprint over here, grab this guy, and get out of town. And there's like a mage over there too, so... he should be okay. So yeah, OLED screens boast better pictures, but the like film layer that the LEDs shine through is some organic something, and that is what gets damaged with the burn-in. So that's the problem with them right now, is we just don't have the proper technology to balance that so that that can't happen. Let's use a water, empty it, then grab leyline water, and that way I can get sugar if I need to. Also, leyline water is magic water, and since I'm slightly built into magic now because of the runes, and that's something that we can do too. So I'm still... I keep hopping between the game and this conversation, so sorry about that. It's probably hard to follow, but... anyway, IPS panels don't have that layer, so there's no burn-in, there's no risk of that. They last years and years and years and years. The monitor that I had before was IPS, and it only lasted 6 years, which is a bit surprising to me. But I do think that the reason why that is that monitor was cheap. And not like cheap as in price. At the time, the price was really good, but it wasn't like one of your major brands that you identify and associate with like technology. I mean, it kind of was. It was an AOC monitor, and AOC is known, but I'd say, you know, like in terms of quality, you know, you have brands like Alienware and Samsung and Asus and all these other like MSI. These are like big names, you know, that get into this type of stuff. My current monitor though now is a Samsung, so I'm pretty happy with that. Like I said, I have a Samsung TV, Samsung monitor now, so I'm hoping this monitor lasts forever. I'm still curious to see if my other monitor will work through HDMI, because I guess I didn't really test that. And the only reason why I say that is because this 32-inch TV that I boasted and said I loved, I do love it. I love this thing to death. But I don't need a 32-inch TV next to me. It's a very large screen. I would much rather have a smaller size monitor, which my other monitor is 27 inches, so 5 inches or so, which is not, you know, that much space, but it's enough, because if I look at OBS stuff right now, all the way over on the left side, I have to like crank my head back here. You can see on my camera, I would crank my head like this to see my audio levels, whereas with a 27-inch I think I could see it about like that instead of this. So I mean, not that I can't like peek using my peripheral that way, but it's just less comfortable. We're ignoring this guy. I need to fight them, but I need more arrows before I fight anything. The purifying potions in this DLC are insane. Can this go somewhere? Warehouse. So yeah, that was one of the things that changed, and then another thing that changed with my setup and everything is my microphone is no longer anchored to my desk. I don't know why I never thought about it. Oh, hello, Immaculate. Oh boy. Wait a minute. Okay. I guess I just never went the non-shortcut route. Because I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I cleared all this out to make the run to and from places much faster and easier. I just went the wrong way. The microphone that I have has a boom arm that it came with. It's a cheap boom arm, but it does everything I need it to do. I mean, I find this so weird when it comes to technology. People will pay, like, I don't know, hundreds of dollars for a piece of technology, and I'm probably sitting too close to my microphone now that I think about it. Maybe that's a little bit better. But people will pay like a bunch of money for something like a boom arm for their microphone, and I get it. A good quality boom arm that can fit any microphone that is just like universal in that way, that is probably an amazing piece of equipment. And if you have the money to spend where you're just like, you know what, I might as well just a slight upgrade. Gracie's gonna lay on my mixer now. We'll see if
everything still works. Are you being good? You didn't hit my voice? You did.
she hit the voice changer again. Oh man, she messed with the audio too. Hang on. Being good? You're good. I guess you're laying there. Sorry. She's laying on my thing. Please don't hit any buttons. You're being so cute. Let's see though. Okay, you're fine. Anyway, I'm trying to see if I can figure out an arrangement with her, because she really likes to lay on the mixer, but that's gonna press all the buttons. It already did. It pressed the Elder button for the voice changer for a second there. But the way she likes to lean on things, and I want to give her a thing to lean on, but I gotta not let her be able to press these buttons too, so I don't know how I'm gonna do that. I could just move the mixer out of the way so that she can't lean on it, and I could put something else there, I suppose. But anyway, my boom arm on my microphone, I love it. It works great for what it does, but it was anchored to my desk for a long time because when I got it, I didn't have shelves, I don't think, in my room here. And so I was pretty certain, at least I'm pretty certain I didn't have that. So I had to anchor it to the desk. Actually, you know what? That might not be true. I might have actually had my my shelves in here, and I just put it on my desk as a temporary measure, and then completely forgot about it because I lived with it, and it was fine. But I decided, since I was moving the monitor stuff around too, that I'd take the boom arm and anchor it to the shelf that I have above, and then lower it down so it's hanging down from a spot instead of trying to hang up from a spot. You know, you're really scaring me with your paw literally sitting on the voice changer button. But you're being cute. She's looking at me like, what are you looking at? Because every few seconds I turn around and am like checking the buttons, and she thinks I'm looking at her. But she's being very cute right now.
Well, what do you need?
Okay, what's the deal here? I'm pretty sure I already know all the recipes that she's offering. Pardon the sniffles. They're starting back up again, which is concerning me. Because I haven't had allergy problems. And then I start streaming and that's what's happening. Of course, I didn't take any allergy medicine yesterday, so I wouldn't be surprised. I kind of only take medicine when I need something resolved. Like, oh, I have weird sniffles, so I'm going to take allergy meds. And then I don't do anything after that. Like, when it goes away, I'm like, cool, we're done. Not that I could, like, change anything about the fact that I have sniffling or whatever, but I should be taking the medicine, you know, daily, regardless of if I have the symptoms or not, just to keep them away. She just doesn't have that much money. Okay. There.
Need something?
At the current time, I just need to sell these emeralds, and then I need to put this other stuff away. How is my lantern doing? I haven't checked that in a long time. Oh, we're like half. Because I have plenty of power coils that I can just swap out whenever I want. You know, I was gonna mute myself, but I can't hit my mute button because there's a cat on it. I should check alchemy and see if there's anything I can use these star mushrooms for. You need turnips for that. Okay, I mean, fair. Let's boil this ley line water real quick. And get the sugar out of it. Is sugar naturally mana restoring? Like, I wonder if you can just eat sugar.
What do you need?
Hi, Gracie. Sorry about that. She is on my mixer, and I literally can't see my anything. She might have hit the freaking button for the audio changer. I don't know. But I actually can't tell. She just really loves to be right there. There's a mess on my desk too. I had to move some stuff around. I got junk on there, but I can't see my mute switch. It's on the mixer and she's on the mixer. I can't tell if I'm muted or not until I look all the way over here and check my microphone. I just can't see. She is on the mixer. I gotta get under my boom mic, but she's laying, you can't even see the mixer because she's on it. She just really likes elevated ledges and stuff. Don't bite me. Yeah, she's a big cat, so she lays on these two switches right here. This is my mute switch, and then this is the voice changer up here. These are soft buttons on this side of the panel, and these are hard buttons, but they push down to mute. I wish they were like a switch somewhere, but it's literally push on them. She has to lay on an elevated ledge like that, and now she's not very happy that I moved her. I'm sorry, girl. So, anyway, how's the fiber internet? Have you used it much? Just got turned on a half an hour ago. Got it. I knew it was happening, I just didn't know when. Here she comes. She's gonna lay on top of the mixer again. Hey, Gracie. Most beautiful of kitty cats. I need you to be good. Why don't you lay on anything else? Like, I don't know what to do with the mixer. Like, I got too many cables plugged into it right now to want to move it too drastically, but if I try to elevate it, maybe she won't want to lay on it. She can lay anywhere else on this desk. I'm okay with that. Hey, watch your tail. Hey. I would love to get her something where she can just lay on it. I had a cardboard thing up here for her to lay on. She wants to be on the mixer. She wants to be as close as possible to my stuff as she can be. And I'm absolutely okay with that. Like, fine. You're, you know, my cat. I want you to be right next to me at all times. But like, just the way that everything is, she prefers to be directly in front of me. Because I'm looking at the screen and she wants that attention. But Like, I give her attention. I pet her frequently. When she's sitting next to me, I can pet her. But she just... She'll be like... She's really weird. I feel like she thinks I'm, in a way, neglecting her. Like, not paying enough attention to her. But then she... will sit somewhere that's, like, out of arm's reach. Out of my line of sight. She'll sit on her, like, shelf over by the window. And then she'll look at me like, hey... I'm here. Why aren't you petting me? And I'm like, I have to get out of my chair, walk over. Do not chew on any cords. Bad. No, don't bite me either. Hey, calm down. Cannot be chewing on my cords just because you're in a mood. Thank you. You can be up on top of the PC. I don't care. I just unfurred my PC yesterday. Like, and the thing is, she likes to be on top of my PC. It's a bit of a pain for her to get up there. Because there's not... It's like perfectly cat-sized space. So she likes it up there because it's cat-sized. It's like a box. No chewing. But... It's kind of behind my monitors and stuff, so she struggles to get back there comfortably. She has to kind of squeeze by the monitors. And then it also doesn't help because there is a cable in front of... Like, she can't jump from the desk to there very easily because there's a cable in the way. So... And now she's calming down. I tried to tape the cable up and just keep it out of her way, but she just... The tape wouldn't stick, and I can't... I don't think I can get the cable to go behind the board, because it's for one of my lights, so it's... The light is sitting up on top of these shelves on its side, because they're vertical lights. And so I want the cable to go behind the shelf, because I got a gap between it and the wall for cables and stuff, but the cable doesn't attach. The two lights are connected together, and then I think there's another cable coming out of one of the lights into the wall, and that one doesn't have it. So, I can't, like, unplug the light, feed the cable, and plug it back in. It doesn't work. And the light doesn't fit through the gap that I have because it's a big light, so I don't know how I'm gonna get it out of her way. She's giving me like a pouty face. She doesn't want to be touched. Not really. But she's like looking down on me like, why are you not... Why am I forced to be in this position? See what I mean? You got new-ish lights, or was I just blind to know? I had these lights since Christmas, so they're not really new. And I don't think you've been watching me that long. So they've probably been here pretty much the whole time you've been here, but they're off to the side, like whatever. She's settling down now, though. She's being good.
What do you need?
This lady is not selling any cream. $5 months, 5 days, 21 hours. Dang. Yeah, not quite Christmas. You know why? I can tell you now why that is exactly what it is.
Can I help you?
I didn't post anything on YouTube until New Year's Day. And so when I posted the vintage story, I think it was the Arctic Challenge, you saw that and then joined stream and told me about it. Told me that you saw it. Because I think you're one of the people, like most people that have followed me, have come from YouTube. They're not from Twitch. I was streaming my vintage story runs and stuff, the no map run and everything before. I was streaming that back in last June. Maybe it was August. Can never remember. Couldn't have been August. I'm pretty sure I was streaming it in June because I think I was working and streaming that game at night.
Can I help you?
Well,
Usually
yeah, that
have
was part of
something
it too,
unique.
was at the time I was streaming in the evening because that's what I did for work. So my last job, I worked until 5 p.m. my time. And so I think I streamed 2 days a week from, oh, I think it was like 7 to 9 or 7 to 10 p.m. Not very long. I could only stream for a couple hours. Because the way my schedule worked, I didn't even sleep in game. What the heck? I also need to empty out more of my backpack. I don't know what I'm doing. At the time, the way my schedule was Monday through Friday was work from, I went to the gym before work, usually. So it was, I was getting up at, I think it was 6 in the morning to get to the gym, to do my workout, to shower at the gym, and then get dressed and everything. I would shower at the gym. No, it wasn't 6. It was 5:30, I think, in the morning. I had to be at the gym by 6, and by 6:45, I was in the showers. And then out at 7, and I drove to work from there, which took me about a half an hour. I would get to work at 7:30, and I would work a half an hour early every single day because I needed to catch up on work. I was just so busy. And at that time, I was, towards the end of that job, I was skipping lunches too. To try to make up for it. And even though my boss and managers and stuff would tell me, oh, you can't skip lunches or whatever, or you shouldn't skip lunches, it was like, look, if I don't skip lunch, I don't get things done. It's an hour-long lunch. Me taking the break and eating it, I'm very much one of those people, once I'm
What do you
online,
need?
once I'm doing something, I'm in it. Like, I'm focused on it. I have a hard time getting to that point sometimes, but like, I don't know if it's an undiagnosed ADHD thing. Oh, this is not bad. I can make this.
What do you need?
But I have a really hard time focusing, but once I do focus, I'm locked in. Don't ever stop me. And from what I know, that could be an ADHD thing. It could just be whatever. That, I don't know. I'm not going to say that I have it because it feels like everybody has it these days. But so for me, getting out of, like, taking that
Can I help you?
hour-long lunch was really bad because it was like, I get distracted now because I'm thinking about lunch, and then I go to lunch and I come back and I'm not ready to go back to work because I just took a break. My body is like, no, you're on relaxation mode, but my brain knows that I need to be focusing, but it's like I don't want to go back to work. There's still half a day. It is very much a struggle with my own like brain and body for that type of stuff, where it was like, hey, you're exhausted, like from all this like whatever stress that you're managing, and you're only halfway through the day. So if I didn't take a lunch break halfway through the day, then I just kind of like time passed really quickly, and I was like, oh, like before I knew it, I was, you know, it was like 3 in the afternoon or something. And then sometimes I would take a break at 3 for my lunch because I was getting out at 5. So I'd take a break from 3 to 4, and then from 4 to 5 was basically wrapping up stuff. Like, okay, what happened from 3 to 4 that is a 911 emergency that I can finish before I go home for the day? That's what I tried to do. And not everyone has ADHD. It's a thing that people say, and I'm not trying to
Well, what do you
perpetuate
need?
that. Is really what I mean, you know? Like, I feel like everybody says they have ADHD, but not a lot of them actually get diagnosed for having ADHD. So that's why I don't like try to say, oh, I have ADHD, or I think I have ADHD, because I really don't know. I've not been diagnosed for it. I couldn't even tell you how they diagnose people for ADHD, because I don't really go to the doctor like I should. I started going. I had a really bad situation with that. At my last job, I had the insurance, so I went to the doctor, and the doctor that I talked to did a general physical exam, was like, yeah, everything looks fine, sounds fine in terms of like a physical exam. But I'm retiring, and they shouldn't have given me a new patient because I'm retiring. I'm like, oh, great. And he was like, well, you know, you'll have to get rescheduled and with a different doctor from here on out, since I'm retiring, and they just shouldn't have done that. And he was delayed and behind everything. So
Want to buy something?
by the time I finished talking to him, like, the office staff had basically gone home at that point. Because I think my appointment was supposed to be at, I swear it was like 3:30, and he didn't end up seeing me until like 6. And I'm pretty sure I got out of that doctor appointment about an hour later and then headed home. Why is nobody selling arrows? This sucks. I need more arrows. So yeah, and then when that was done, I was like, well, he gave me the clean bill of health for the general physical exam. Tested my eyes, my ears, you know, lungs. Did an actual physical. And so I was like, okay, like, at least that is a clean bill of health. I'll need to reschedule the doctor, and I never did because I got swamped with work, and then I quit. And then when you quit in America and don't have insurance, you don't go to the doctor because just seeing a doctor will be several $100s, depending on what they do. Just a visit will probably be like you know, $100, but like, if they have to do any sort of treatment or whatever, not that they're really going to do that at your primary care doctor, but if they did, oh boy, I just realized my character's thirsty, and I made a mistake. So let me try some new magic stuff real quick. Because God forbid the doctor talks to you is like, you know what, we'll put you on prescriptions. And then, you know, not having insurance when you have prescriptions is also basically a financial death sentence. because prescriptions in America are hundreds of dollars. Because that's just how it is. Unless you want to get a quantity that's like so tiny. It's just what it is, unfortunately. I didn't sleep before I went on my adventure. You know what? At this point, I'm just gonna farm these enemies and see what if I can get any arrow supplies. I'm not gonna go on a real journey. Just travel around the wilderness and we'll go from there. Yeah, regarding the ADHD thing, like that's kind of how I feel it is too. It's like, no, ADHD is a real disorder that some people have, and other people just have a hard time focusing. Because my friend who has ADHD, actually, when he was diagnosed with it, it was ADD, but I think ADD and ADHD have been looped into it because I don't really know. I honestly just don't follow the medical stuff like that on that front because I don't have that diagnosis. But he used to make the distinction of, oh, I don't have ADD, I have ADHD, or vice versa. Actually, I don't have ADHD, I have ADD. But then I think things have changed where now it's all lumped into the same thing. It's just all ADHD now. I don't know. Anyway, he would talk about like his symptoms, and I know like you can have symptoms different from somebody else, and you know, not everybody has the same thing, but he'd talk about it and he'd be like, yeah, I have a hard time focusing. I'm like, okay, yep, definitely have that. And he'd be like, there'd be times I'd get invested in my work and like I wouldn't eat food, and suddenly, you know, 9 hours would pass and it would be whatever 7 p.m. and I hadn't eaten anything for the day. And I'm like, I don't typically get to that point. For me, I do feel the hunger and everything, and I can acknowledge like, yeah, I'm hungry and I should go eat. But sometimes I do get invested in the work. Sometimes I really do get into it and I forget to take a break and to go eat. But a lot of times I'm like, wow, I'm hungry. I should probably go eat. But I'm in the middle of something right now, and I'm really enjoying whatever I'm doing. Like, I'm making progress, whatever that is. Even if I don't enjoy it as in, like, I want to do this for, whatever, a career. Sometimes I get really into it, and I'm like, I'm making progress on something. I'm actually, whatever. If it's drawing something, I'm, like, maybe not getting finished with the drawing, but I'm gonna finish this portion. If I'm, you know, editing something for YouTube, it's like I got through like 8 hours of editing and it's like more than halfway done. I should just keep going, you know, that type of stuff. So there are some similarities that he and I would have, but I don't know if I would actually have it or not. Yeah, the TikTok ADHD where people don't have it, they just can't focus anymore because of the social media abuse. Yeah, there is definitely that. I won't say that I don't think personally I have that social media addiction because I don't really check it. I mean, I do check. I have Instagram and I do check Instagram pretty much daily. But not because, oh, I have to check Instagram to see what's happening. I usually check it when I don't have anything else to do. Like, if I'm waiting for food to cook, sometimes I'm on Instagram. You know, and I just kind of scroll through stuff and whatever. But anymore, I'm getting tired of that short form content stuff because it never really goes anywhere. Because it has to be short form, so they have, like, you know, 30 seconds or less to explain something to you. But a lot of them get lazy with it. A lot of them are like, the short form content, it's not the whole content. A lot of them are like, we found this super amazing animal, and you know, science can't explain how it exists, and nobody understands like whatever, and it could cure cancer. Click the link below to find out more. That's the short. And I'm like, can you just say what it is? Like, I know that there's probably a click-through rate thing where, you know, they're getting paid for number of views on whatever site it is, but like, I hate short form content that's like, we'll make this sound really interesting, but we're not going to actually tell you what it is until you click this link. I'm like, I'm so tired of that. Tell me. You have 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, it doesn't take that many words to explain exactly what you're talking about. You can say, scientists found a new species of bird that, you know, whatever, its feathers can cure cancer. Done. Click the link to find out more. Whoa, that's interesting. Don't be like, there's an animal that exists that science can't explain that might have the cure for cancer. We don't really know, you know, like, if you really want to know, you should definitely click, just like, tell me what it is. Hi, Demon, what's up? I'm using the recurve, kinda, because I am making a vampiric weapon. So this has been enchanted with thirst. I'm running around now trying to get, not necessarily damage and kills with it. I mean, I am, but I'm mostly trying to see if I can get some darn iron scraps. Because all the merchants in town don't have any arrows for some reason. So I'm looking for the rusty golems, but I'm finding non-rusty variants of golems now. I figured I would, I'd try the vampiric bow out, because I had all the stuff for the enchanting. I did put, the irrepressible anger on the horror bow for the poison. I'll be real, I don't really notice the poison increase in damage, where it's now deadly poison. I mean, I do. It's kind of the same as if they're on fire, which, cool. But I wonder if it would be better to enchant a horror bow with, what is it, Enkindle, which can cause the burn damage as well. So then you have poison and fire, and that's 2 sources of damage. So if one happens to be immune to one, then it's maybe not immune to the other. But I don't really know. But yeah, I'm looking for these guys because they drop like 4 metal scraps each. Which, as long as I don't abuse my arrows, fine. I also got into rune magic. I decided, you know, I looked up the runes. Traps are kind of my thing, so, you know, might as well. That one dropped 2. That's a waste. I should eat this food. Yeah, irrepressible anger adds the flat decay damage too. But I think Enkindle adds 5 flat fire, so it's less damage that's added, but also it's you know, it's a different type of damage. Because it's not like the decay damage that the bow does now with it is like, oh my god, I can watch their health drain, you know, in whatever, 10 seconds it's gone. It still takes a long time. It just might be 2/3 as long of a time as it was. Back to the short form content though I was talking about. I hate that format too, especially when someone's doing a really cool art thing and they're like, come back and follow for part 2. No, I will not come back for part 2. I hate short form content that is part 1, part 2, whatever. Especially if the short form content is not short. I've watched some stuff that's like, you know, for whatever reason, I've been recently recommended stuff about remodeling things. Like, oh, I bought this, whatever, abandoned house and I'm gonna fix it up. I'll get stuff, and those will be like a minute and a half or something, and I'll watch the whole thing, and then they'll be like, all right, awesome. Part 2, I'll finish up more tomorrow, come back for that. And I'm like, I was kind of hoping that your content would be the entire remodel process, and if you can't fit it in a minute and a half video, then just make a long form video, and algorithm, please show that to me. And these beast golems are not, they're not the damaged ones. They're not going to drop metal scrap, but I can still do some trap stuff. I need to get rid of some firestones anyway, so I still need to place pressure plates. Come on, golems, what are you doing? That one hit that. This one should hit this one. There we go. Nice. Cool. Yeah, these will be actual beast golem scraps. I uninstalled Instagram from my phone, realized I was intentionally cramming content down my throat that would annoy me. It's like, it's not that I'm not interested in it, you know, that's the thing about short form content, is if you can give me a fun explanation of something in 15 minutes, or not 15 minutes, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, whatever, awesome, great. Like, sometimes I want to see something where somebody's like, I get a lot of cooking stuff. The thing that annoys me about the cooking ones that are short form is they'll be like, all right, I made this awesome pasta, like, come check this out. And they'll start cooking it, and they'll be like, yeah, you want to put, like, you know, tomatoes in here for the sauce or whatever, you know, they're putting it together. And then they'll be like, and then add these spices, which I put in the description below. And I'm like, I get it, but more than likely what you're gonna do is you're not gonna put it in the description. You're instead going to, where the heck am I? You're going to, you're gonna put a link to a website that you're probably affiliated with in some way, where it'll have everything. I'm actually particularly annoyed about that type of stuff, because a lot of recipe, I hate modern day recipe things for cooking online. I really do. Those things are so annoying because you'll see something, whatever it is, they'll post a recipe, even if it's just an image of the food, and it says like, oh, I've got the recipe. Like, the post itself, even if you're like on Facebook or something and it's not a short form content thing, it'll be a Facebook post. They'll be like, I made this pasta for Father's Day and everybody loved it and you should definitely try it out. Here's an image of it. And then they'll be like, instead of putting the link in the post, they'll be, click the comments down below to find the link. Then you click the link, and if you're on Facebook, it's a really awful link that takes you to a Facebook browser version of the page. So if you have things like ad blockers and stuff on your phone, you don't get the benefit of any ad blockers because now you're browsing through Facebook's web browser to go do that. And the site itself, cooking sites are awful because they tell the whole history of how pasta was founded in 2000 BC by the Italians, and you gotta like go through the entire history of everybody and their grandmother, and then they'll be down at the bottom, they'll be like, okay, here's the ingredients. It's like the tiniest section, but they told you about their family history and the origins of food itself before you got to the recipes, all the way down on the bottom. I remember when websites was like, I want healthy protein pasta thing, and they were like, boom, click the link on Google, get to the page, look at this picture, do you like it? Here's the ingredients right there at the top. You didn't even have to scroll. It just, oh, it's so annoying. I hate the way that everything is like, we've got your attention, now click a thing to scroll through a thing to get the result. Like, give me the result. Give me everything right there. If I see it in the algorithm, I want to see it. I don't want to look at this other thing to actually get it. I'm not a detective. Just give me the frickin' recipe or whatever. Like, I get, hey, you make money off of whatever, your food blog or whatever, but let me tell you, being a content creator, you make money off of content creation too. What you're doing is you're double dipping. You want people to go check out your food blog, which you're probably getting ad revenue from the number of visits. So you're also going to social media and you're posting your stuff on social media, but just enough to edge them to the point where they want to go check out your food blog, which isn't even good because you put the entire history of food before the actual recipe that I was interested in seeing. It is one of the most annoying things that has ever been created. Like, if you're gonna double dip and you're gonna put your recipe on your blog and you're gonna put it on social media and you're trying to get ad revenue or whatever from both sources, fine, but make your short form content a standalone thing from your long, whatever, your blog post or your long form content. You can definitely be like, look, I do this, you know, over here too. If you're interested, come check that out. There's nothing wrong with promoting your other content on a different platform. I do it in the YouTube videos. I'll be like, hey, if you want, you can come watch me on Twitch or whatever. And people will come over here sometimes and check things out. Awesome. But I'm not like... Even my short form content that I upload, I'm not like, want to see more? Go to Twitch. Like, I'm not doing that. Or go click this other video. I upload the moment that happened in the game or whatever as my short form content. And, you know, hopefully you like it. If you do, there might be a little thing on the bottom of it that says, oh, I stream on Twitch or whatever. But I really don't try to, like... I guess the way to summarize it is I want content to be... This is short form content. Give me the result in the short form content. Then promote your longer form or your other whatever. And if I'm interested, now I know that you have these and I'll go follow it. But the fact that people are withholding the actual result in the short form content just to get you to go look at the long form content tells you how bad short form content really is. You kind of don't make money off of short form content unless you're getting millions and millions of views. And that's sort of a problem, is like, if you want to be a content creator, you might think short form content is easy or whatever, but it's not. You got to put the work into it, and it's probably not going to go viral. Why do I have wooden spikes? I don't know why I picked these up. I definitely don't want them. I gotta get back reading from chat. Trying to get their click-through traffic. I hate Facebook or Meta. The guy on YouTube I go to for cooking tutorials called Food Wishes. He does a very clear tutorial, and his website isn't super toxic or anything. Very no nonsense. Maybe I'll check him out then. I agree with you there. I want to see the whole thing in the short, then decide if they're cool and want to follow them because they're cool. That's exactly it. Like, this whole half content thing to try to get you to go look at this other thing. I get it. Economy kind of sucks. The global economy, not great right now. There's just not a whole lot, like... I don't know. There's jobs are hard. They don't pay enough for people to make a living off of a standard job. So a lot of them get into stuff like, you know, content creation. That's what happened to me. And content creation doesn't pay a lot until you hit whatever thresholds you have to hit. And so you're doing everything you can to get the one viewer who saw your content to go see it in 3 or 4 different places, because that'll be 3 views instead of 1 view. The problem is, though, when everybody does this, people are starting to get tired of that, and they're, you know, no longer... I think people are starting to notice a trend of when something starts doing that, because one person was successful, so 100 people copied them, 100,000 people copied them, and now you see that format on your short form content, and you're like, oh, you're one of these things. Okay, skip. And you don't even get through it, you don't follow the person, you don't. And it's even worse when companies try to get in on that, where they try to make short form content, but then their short form content is like not good at all. They try to make it like all like cool and exciting and whatever interesting, but it's not in the slightest. Oh, hell yeah, subscribe. You know, I meant to turn on my freaking sounds and stuff. I have them off because I needed to work on them, and I completely forgot to work on them because I had some crazy stuff happen yesterday. I'll tell you more about that in a second, but thank you for the subscription. Tier 1 subscription. That's true too. There are some people that get into content creation that are already established. Adam Savage from Mythbusters has his own YouTube channel, and he gets millions of views on everything he has because he's Adam Savage. He's one of the guys from Mythbusters. He already made his reputation with an entire TV show that lasted like 15 years or something. That's just being smart with your popularity. You know, if you're a popular person, you might as well get into content creation because you're going to make money just off of your own image. I wish the creator would make more from subs. Yeah, I want to set up like the whole like buy me a coffee or PayPal type thing, but I don't know. So like PayPal, I'd want to set up a PayPal business account, but then you're talking about a business and registering yourself as a business, which I have not done because I'm not sure that this is going to work out. So right now, for everything, you know, when I was able to get the ad revenue and everything for Google, they're like, are you an individual or are you a business? And I'm like, I'm an individual. I put individual in everything until this really pops off where I can then change it to business. I'm an individual. But when you start getting into other things like, you know, PayPal stuff, you can PayPal me personally, but then that's my personal name unless I make a separate PayPal for this, but that's like, you know, a ton of extra work for that type of stuff. So I just haven't yet until things seem a little bit more stable where that is an option. I'm kind of like not doing that. I'll accept the, you know, the subscriptions or donations or whatever through the platform itself. Because realistically speaking, it's been about 7 months now since well, yeah. I guess we'll be starting month 7 since I decided to make this more of a career thing. And even then, I wasn't really certain on it. It wasn't until like March when I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this as a career. So I'm not that far into it. If it doesn't take off, you know, let's say in the next year or whatever, I don't want to have a business PayPal account and all this other stuff associated with me. So,
Can I help you?
it's a very gray area right now for me in terms of what this is going to look like on taxes. And I'm just trying to play it safe. Like, I'm not a business. I don't want to register myself as a business because I haven't gone anywhere yet. And I don't think that it's wise for you to register yourself as a business unless you have to. It's not hard to do that. I have a friend who actually was starting an excavation company with his dad, and he had to sign up all the paperwork and everything to get the business name and everything, because they needed to be a business to get the contract for the job. You couldn't just be like, these two guys did it. It had to be a business. So they got themselves registered and checked out and licensed and everything for all this other stuff. And then it didn't even end up working out. And I don't know how much all that cost them to even do, but it didn't work out. So, you know, it's like, I don't want to spend money on something that I'm not certain is really going anywhere. Once I start making the money, then, you know, that's when I'll be like, okay, let's see. It's probably better at that point to be considered a business because there's probably some sort of tax break you get for whatever, you know. I don't know. Top Gear Guys 2, No James May has a YouTube channel. Jeremy Clarkson is running a farm or something, makes videos on that. Yeah, it's really smart if you're getting into content, or if you are a TV person, to get into content creation. I'm like stuck because I need more arrows, but the blacksmiths and stuff weren't selling arrows. I know it's been a day, but I doubt their inventories have reset. I guess I can go back and check. But I don't have any arrow. I like bought out all the arrows that I could, and their inventories don't have any more things for sale. Anyway, I was going to talk about why the shoutouts and stuff aren't working. It was my intention after Friday's stream to work on it this weekend. Saturday, let's see, what happened Saturday? Oh, I know what happened. So Friday, I didn't have a lot of people come watch me on Friday. So I did a small stream. It was about 3.5 hours maybe. But I was working on my YouTube video that I posted Saturday night. I was working on that and worked my butt off until 5 in the morning and still didn't have it done. I slept.
Need
and then
something.
I got up at like, I don't know, 10. And started working on it some more, but then had plans to go do stuff with my mom. So we did stuff in the afternoon, and then I got back home. I posted my video, and then I had D&D, and I kind of went to bed because I was tired shortly after that. And yesterday, so I got up, and my monitor that I got a new monitor, has been showing some weird, like, lines on it, and I tested the monitor on a different PC, and same DisplayPort cable, same everything, except it was a different graphics card, and the lines went away. So I was like, oh no, it's my graphics card. I really thought I was having a graphics card issue because of that. But people on the internet were still telling me to, like, hey, get a different DisplayPort cable and test that out. Get a different monitor and test it out to make sure that it's the graphics card and not a monitor. I didn't have another monitor. I did get another cable, didn't fix the issue. I guess I didn't check the caravan guy. I should talk to him real quick. So I went out yesterday and I ended up getting a new monitor because I went to Best Buy and their return policy is a 2-week return policy. So I was able to walk out with a new monitor and everything. And I basically spent all day yesterday making sure it was working. Like, I tried to do a bunch of different things. I was playing games. I was,
Greetings, friend.
watching stuff, trying to play games that were dark, trying to play games that were bright, trying to play games that were fast. You know, see, he doesn't have any arrows. Dang. Trying to see if I could get anything that would indicate that it, wasn't gonna be working properly. And it seems to be running fine. Now I'm streaming. So I intended to work on my Twitch stuff over the weekend and basically ended up getting sidetracked with other stuff, making the YouTube video and basically burning all of Friday night and most of Saturday dedicated to that. And then yesterday having the monitor issue. So I will work on it probably after stream today. Because I got the shoutouts working. I got the notifications and everything working, but I haven't done much testing, so they're like too loud or not the right kind of notification that I want or whatever. Like, there's definitely something that needs to be adjusted on all of them. So I got them working though, finally. Figured out what it was. It turns out the chat, there's like a moderator thing, and apparently you can just turn off shoutouts through OBS in that chat window if you click on the moderator like shield icon. And that just like, it's not a setting that I can find in OBS. It is through the chat thing. You have to click that little shield icon, and then there's a setting in whatever pops up there that turns them on and off. And that was off by default, so I wasn't getting any of my chat notifications. Be right back. Cat is starving. Absolute horror. Yes. Feed the anorexic animal that is clearly dying and must have food. So yeah, I got a new monitor. It's a 1440p monitor with HDR and 180 hertz refresh rate. So it should be pretty nice for whatever I end up getting into. Wasting away all fluff and bones. Hi, cat. How you doing? It's been a little bit. I don't know anything about my monitors. They're whatever I have left over from old hertz. Hey, Panzer, what's going on? My brain runs on 1 hertz. So my old monitor was a 1080p monitor, 120 hertz, and didn't have HDR, which is like better color ranges and stuff. I got that 6 years ago, and you know, it's lasted a long time. It was doing really well. But this issue popped up or whatever, and I had to get rid of it. I wouldn't have otherwise. I don't really... The only reason why I got a 1440p monitor is because I could. It was cheap. This monitor was less than $200, and it does everything I want. It's not an OLED screen. I don't really care. OLED does have better color. but the problem with an OLED screen is that they get burn-in. They get pretty frequent burn-in. I mean, people are like, it's rare for that to happen. Well, not really. What causes it is your screen being on too long, and despite me having sleep timers in place, sometimes my screen won't turn off with like a sleep timer. And, you know, one could just say, well, just turn off your monitor before you go away. Well, there's two things. One, OLED monitors are more expensive anyway. They're like $400. So there's that. But two, sometimes stuff happens. You know, if I get a phone call about somebody, whatever, needs me, it's an emergency or something's going on, and I have to abruptly leave, the last thing I'm thinking about is make sure I turn off my monitor. I'm like, oh God, and grab like my keys and I'm in my car immediately. I'm not thinking about my screen. So in the event that it doesn't get turned off and it doesn't go to sleep, I don't want to have an image permanently burned into my screen. It's something that old LCD displays used to have, and then it got fixed when we switched to LED, and then we went to OLED, and we now have burn-in again. Which is hilarious to me, that we regressed a bit just because we wanted more color. Like, colors look great on this monitor because of the high dynamic range HDR effects. Like, it just means that the LED lights can actually more accurately reflect color. I don't need to have OLED on top of that. OLEDs are basically a subscription. I guess you could think of it that way. My old monitor was an AOC brand. I don't really know anything about AOC. I think they're a little bit on the cheaper side. They're not an unknown monitor brand, but most people have like Asus or MSI, Alienware, Samsung. I don't know if Sony gets into monitors, but Sony makes TVs, so I wouldn't be surprised. You know, a lot, maybe Dell. Dell owns Alienware, so for gaming, typically it's Alienware. You don't usually have a Dell monitor. But you know, those are like the bigger brands, and so AOC is there. They're a recognizable name enough, but they're not like, I don't know if the quality is there. So anyway, it lasted 6 years, and you know, I was very, very happy with it. But my good old Samsung TV that I use as my second monitor, I've had this thing since 2012. Yes, it's a TV. It's 60 hertz refresh rate. It's a 32-inch screen. It's a LED with none of the fancy stuff. It's not like a Ultra HD, you know, whatever they call them, like QHDs or something now is what Samsung likes to put on their monitors, because this is a Samsung monitor that I have. They're like trying to rebrand all this stuff. I'm like, look at how sharp this is. Great. This TV has lasted me 12 years. So I sincerely hope this monitor lasts at least, well, not 12 years, 14 years. Came out in 2012. So I'm sincerely hoping that this monitor will last a very long time too. And the only reason why I went 1440p is, again, because of the price. Like, it's kind of hard to get a monitor these days that's not 1440p. I mean, you definitely can. You could just shop 1080p monitors. But, like, price-wise, the difference between that and a 1440p monitor is like $50. So it's like, okay, might as well. Because this was this is normally, I think, a $230 monitor. It was on sale for $160, which is really good. And like for $160 you might have been able to get a 1080p monitor that wasn't on sale. But, like, you know, just shop the deal. Honestly, technology is way overinflated in price anyway. I never buy anything. It's not even just technology. It can be food, like groceries in general. When I'm at a store, I shop the deals at a store, and I try to remember every time I'm there what the normal prices of things are. Because stores like to play the game of, look at this awesome sale we have. It's the same thing that you had last time, except you said the price went up $1, and now you're telling me I save $1. But last week, it was $1 cheaper. It just didn't have the yellow tag that said it was actually more expensive now on sale. So 1440p monitor is the best value right now. HDR is mostly a gimmick. I'm noticing the color for sure in HDR. I can notice it for sure, but my old monitor was also had nothing and none of that stuff. This monitor just is better all the way around. So it's probably not just the HDR, it's probably a bunch of other things, but I can tell that this is definitely better than my old monitor, and not just because of the 1440p. The color is better. So yeah, it's definitely a better monitor. And like I said, I got it for a great price, and I really couldn't ask for anything better than that. Out of the way, Trog. I should probably get my mana up, so I gotta use some. Cool. A mushroom. I got an Acer and a Gateway monitor. Only know that because it says under the screen. Fair enough. I mean, Gateway was a very big brand back in the day. They're, I don't know, did they go out of business? I don't really hear about them anymore. But anyway, the Gateway's a good brand. I had a Gateway laptop from 2010 that I used for a long time, all the way up till 2021 when it just wasn't working as well anymore. Purifying quartz. I am hot. Yeah, you don't say. I don't really think I have much for that. That's okay. We're gonna be getting to the cold section of this dungeon here in a second. Old one, probably at least a decade old. I mean, honestly, screens are screens, so as long as it looks the way you want it to look, fair. My buddy, he will just swear by the fact that, like, there's one thing that annoys me. He's my best friend. There's one thing about him that annoys me. He really thinks everything he has is the best. That it's the best of anybody's. Because just I don't know what it is. It's just kind of his personality, and it always annoys me because, like, he got a Steam Deck because he wanted to play games and emulate them on a handheld so he could take them with him. when he travels and stuff, because sometimes he goes camping and he'll be gone for like a week, and so he wants something that he can do, you know, other than just the camping stuff when it's, you know, it's evening or whatever and people are winding down. He wants to be able to play something. I completely understand that. Now, for me, I can get by with whatever, a Nintendo Switch. I don't need to emulate every single game that I've had in the history of ever in order to have that available, because he has something like 300 games from like N64 to GameCube to whatever that he's got that he emulates. And yeah, they look great, they run great, that's everything. You're not gonna play 300 games. He's one of those people that I don't think I can go there. Yeah, locked train rail door at testing chamber. That was... Are we at the testing chamber? Where the heck am I? It's the loading docks. Yeah. Locked at train rail door at test chamber station. This is the... Is this the test chamber? That's the thing that I need to get past anyway, story-wise here, just before I go on the tangent again about him and his stuff. I've been to several different of these dungeons or whatever, and I don't have all the keys for the research lab. I have, I think, A and C. Hang on. A and C. So I'm missing, assuming B and D. I have lower test chamber key and lower foundry key. I think this is the test chamber, but I've not explored this too much. Like, I've been through it because I have everything open and activated. And the lower test chamber key takes you to this area that I'm in. So I have to find out what this locked train rail door thing it's talking about is. That's really what's going on. And I have no arrows to do this because the game isn't giving the merchants any arrows that I can buy, and it's not giving me much for scrap. So I have 5 arrows to my name as an archer. Yeah, I thought this was the testing chamber, so I have to figure out whatever this locked door thing is. Anyway, so my buddy, one thing that super annoys me is that type of stuff where he thinks everything he has is the best. So, like, another example is Skyrim. He mods the hell out of Skyrim. He's got, I don't know, 300 different mods for Skyrim, and he'll say it's a lot of dependencies for other mods, but a lot of it is his own stuff too, where he's tweaking everything. When I play a game, I don't care if it's perfect or not. It doesn't have to look a certain way. I just want it to play a certain way. It can look maybe a little bit better. Sometimes I get, like, whatever, overhauls where it'll be like, well, yeah, I want, like, I don't know, this forest looks kind of sparse, so I want a mod that adds more trees. Great. I completely understand that. The problem is that he doesn't just stop there. He'll add the forest, but then the forest doesn't look quite right, so he gets a texture for the forest. Then, you know, he'll get, whatever, changing seasons in the regions, so but then the forest doesn't update with the correct seasonal color changes, so then he's got to get something that changes the leaves on the trees, but then that's incompatible with another mod, so then he has to go into the, you know, what the heck's it called? The creation kit, and he has to go adjust all that so that it's compatible and whatever. And then he'll be like, well, the people look a little weird, so I'm gonna get new, like, textures for skin and faces and new models and stuff. Oh, now there's a bug with this, so I have to go there and fix that. And he adjusts all this stuff, and at the end of the day, he spends more time modding it, and he doesn't actually play it. Train key A is required. I don't have train key A. That was the holdup. I think that's the door I need to unlock, but I need train key A, and I don't know where the heck that is. I'm pretty sure I've been to all the dungeons that I can be in, and I have not found train key A. Now, there's 2 trains here, so part of me says it's in one of the trains. Maybe this other one. But I'm not sure. Also, I'm cold, and that's a problem. Warm boon. There we go. Train key A is up in the hot area. Okay, so I missed it. I explored the entire hot area, I swear. I went through the troglodytes and everything, the whole testing chambers and everything. I, you know, defeated all the flame enemies up there. It was cleared, and then I left Harmattan to go back to Berg to get rune magic, because I decided that was what my 3rd chain skill thing was gonna be. And I went to Levant to get the Tenebris armor for it. Because I figured that was a good armor set that I'll work on enchanting to get the speed bonuses and stuff that I want. But I got the Tenebris set, and when I came back, you know, it'd been like 12 days or something, so everything had reset for sure. Near a destroyed robot. I think I know what you're talking about with the destroyed robots. I didn't see one here, but I'll keep looking. In truth, when I was in this dungeon, I think I was about out of arrows, so I probably left thinking I was going to come back, and then I left and everything reset, so now I've been rushing through it. But yeah, I cleared all this, I did all this stuff. I've gone up in here. Hello. Nothing really of... I guess the knife can be scraps, which is arrows, so we'll do that. Been up in here, did this whole thing, which just takes you around to this other side. Been down there with the troglodytes. I flipped that lever over there. And I was assuming that would be the robot, maybe, is that thing. Because I've seen them in other dungeons, but I don't have the loot. Oh, there it is. It wasn't shining? Did I just not loot this? Did I loot the guy instead? Ow. Hang on. I'm poisoned. Poison bomb. Oh, I hate troglodytes so much. They're always in packs of like 10, and they're just annoying. They're not fun to fight. Did I get it? It was too quick for me to see. We'll go try it, might as well. "22 seconds. Okay. I'll be fine. I do have it. I guess I never looted that. I don't know how I would have missed that, honestly. Because I cleared out that whole area, all the troglodytes and everything. I guess I just never looted that one thing. I figured I was missing it somewhere in this dungeon. That's why I'm back here. I just don't have any arrows. Let's eat. Where the heck is it? This thing. Anyway, I missed out on chats, so I wish I had a Switch. Yeah, at this point, hell yeah, get a Switch 2 if you're gonna. Because the Switch 1, I hate Nintendo for doing what they've done. Because the Switch 1 should have run a lot better than it did, but they kind of didn't do that right. And now the Switch 2 runs as... I don't know what I just opened. I heard the noise, but I don't know what opened. The Switch 2 runs as the Switch 1 should have. But I don't know. Now they charge an upgrade fee to play Switch 1 games on Switch 2 speeds. It's really dumb. I don't really like their marketing stuff, and the Switch 2 is going to go up in price soon, so if you're going to get one, or thinking about getting one, consider, you know, doing some sort of trade-in or whatever if you can, and get one, if you have anything like that. If you don't, you know, it is what it is, but... Loading docks. Oh. This place is green. I don't like that. It is expensive, yeah. Steam Deck was a good deal when it first dropped. I can only imagine the prices jumped up a fair bit. I think he got it pretty new. And again, he uses it as an emulation machine. He has all these emulated games on his PC too. He has a whole drive dedicated to emulated games that he has, because he played a lot of these games as part of his childhood. He had a GameCube, he played that, or he played N64 games on his DS or Wii or whatever through the virtual console stuff, or whatever the heck, the N64 version on the GameCube, whatever it was. I feel like I shouldn't be here because I don't have any arrows, so we'll come back, but this place looks cool. What is mana transfer station? Ooh. A compromised mana transfer station. Is there gonna be more immaculates in here? Well, it's not just for emulators. He plays it, oh, hi, Greasy. He plays it, to play his Steam games, too. And then he complains when something says it's Steam Deck verified and it doesn't run well. Or whatever. Like, he's kind of one of these people, like I said. He has this thing where everything he has is better than everybody else's. Like, back in the day, I got my 1070 graphics card with my PC. And he was using like a 970 graphics card, his NVIDIA graphics card. So, mine was a whole generation newer and could play, it was, way more powerful, whatever. And like, I was talking about it, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. He's like, oh, nice, how is it? And he was like, asking questions about it. I'm like, yeah, it runs well, and does everything I wanted to do. I wasn't like bragging it up like, oh, my PC's so great. I'm like, this is an awesome card though, because I was borrowing before that like a 680 or something he had. So that upgrade from that to a 1070 at the time, I was like, oh, I could play all my games at 1080p and 60 FPS. I was like so excited, and it was so awesome. He like dealt with his 970 for a little bit, and then like not even a year later decided he was gonna do like an entire PC upgrade, and he got a I think it was a 2080 Ti. And he was like, well, you know, I'm on my PC all the time for work and for school, so I might as well. And he also got a gaming laptop because his parents were going to buy him something for school because they, you know, helped his sister with her tuition and stuff. And so they were like, well, what do you want? And I think she had to get like a, I don't know, a MacBook or something that was expensive. So he got this gaming PC so he could play all his games or whatever. And, you know, he would brag about kind of like how portable it was and how he could play everything on the go and whatever and blah, blah, blah. And he got the 2080 Ti for his computer. So he's like, oh, it's so amazing, whatever. And then, he was rocking that for a long time. And my 1070 was starting to not compete. It wasn't playing the games that I wanted to play at the resolutions I wanted to play. So I ended up getting a 4070 Ti. I was like, yeah, okay, nice. Like, good upgrade again. It had been like 8 years or something. So I was like, yeah, the 4070 Ti is what I have right now. I was like, yeah, this is nice. Now I can, again, play all my games and whatever. And I upgraded my CPU and motherboard years and years ago. So those are ready for an update. And he was like, oh, cool. Well, I'm thinking about upgrading my computer. And it was just like maybe 5 years before I got my 4070 Ti. He had gotten his 2080. And I'm like, do you need an upgrade? No, wait. Maybe he got a 30 series card too. I don't remember now. The point is he upgrades his stuff all the time. And it seems like every time somebody has something better than he has, he gets this sudden urge to upgrade his stuff and justifies it as like a, well, you know, I blah, 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 blah. He just finds a justification for why he has to have the best thing. So now he has like a 5090. He's like, well, I emulate a lot of games, so I need that power. Bro, the Steam Deck isn't rocking a 5090, and you use that for your emulation stuff too. Now, he will emulate Switch games and stuff, but like, you don't need to have that type of hardware to do that type of stuff. But the problem is, when he emulates his games, he wants it cranked up to the max. He's got to have texture packs that make it, you know, look 4K, and it has to run at least 60 FPS consistently, and it has to do all this other stuff. He just doesn't play the game, you know? Like, I get the frames, fine. FPS is fine. I want a consistent frame rate too, but if the game I played as a kid, let's say it was Ocarina of Time, that ran at 20 FPS, if that thing plays at a solid 30, it feels way better than it did back on the N64. And then I might get textures to change some of the stuff to make it more like the 3DS version, but I'm not getting 4K stuff. I'm not doing all this extra stuff like he does. He gets into it and he adds all these things and then justifies why he needs the most expensive parts. It's like, dude, you're doing this to yourself. Whether it's the Skyrim modding, whether it's emulating a game, whatever, he spends so much time tweaking it so that it looks the best. And like, so when I started modding Skyrim, you know, and I was talking about like, oh yeah, I got this cool mod, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh yeah, I have a mod like that too. But actually my mod is from old Skyrim that I manually ported over to this one. And it's just better than that one. I've tried both. It's just better. And I'm like, bro, I don't care what you have. I was just talking about a mod that I played that I thought was Gracie, no. Gracie, no. Gracie, no. Gracie, no. Hey, no. Like, I don't care about the comparison of the two mods and which one is better than the other. I was just making talk because, you know, whatever. He might be playing Skyrim and I'm at his house. So, you know, I'd mention it. But it's like, he's got this thing where everything he does is better. And I'm not going to say it's not better. I just don't care. It's not a competition. Like, he booted up his Skyrim after he got everything perfect the way he wants it. And he was like, hey, you should play this. And I'm like, it's Skyrim. And he's like, no, you should play it. So he handed me the controller, I played it, and I was walking around, and like we ran into like new enemies, new creatures, you know, went to these locations. He was like, you should fast travel here and look at this location. And so I did. And like I go there and he's like, doesn't it look amazing? I'm like, yeah, you added some trees. It's cool. Like, it looks good. But like, he was like, this is just so much better than the base game. I'm like, I don't know, man. It's trees. Like, cool, I guess. He's like, but no, it looks better. And I'm like, yeah, it does, but I don't care. Like, you know, like, it's that type of stuff where I'm like, bro, he's my best friend. He's a genuinely good dude. But when it gets to technology and video games, I just don't talk to him about that stuff. Because he gets this, like, weird complex where I don't think he realizes it either, that he has a need to show everyone how amazing his version of a thing is. And I'm not saying it's not better, it is, but like, nobody asked, nobody cares. I get you can be excited, you can be like, look at all the work I did and doesn't this look good? I'll say, yeah, it looks great. But like, I'm not impressed by your own work as much as you are impressed by your own work, because I wouldn't have done that work because I don't care about that type of stuff. I should be shopping for arrows. I don't think their inventories have changed. I haven't actually properly looked, though.
Can I help you?
No. He doesn't have any arrows, and he should have some. I don't think the blacksmith has arrows either. And I'm not finding, like, a lot of iron scrap around this area. He is selling some, though. Give me this. All of that. I'll even buy the wristband, assuming that I can break them down. And if I can't, whatever. It's not that expensive, but... Nope, you can't break it down. Then you can have these back. Something? He's got iron spikes. We'll buy those too. I need arrows. I want to explore, and we're kind of on a time limit, so just give me the freaking stuff, man. Sounds like an annoying and obsessive person. I mean, he's really not. He is a genuinely good guy. It's... What happened, probably, which caused some of this, is he has a disability. He has cerebral palsy, and it affected his legs, so he doesn't have, like, proper mobility, if you want to call it that. He just has a hard time getting around. That's just the reality of it. And so, as a kid, you know, when you can't really go play sports and you can't really do that type of stuff, what do? You bury your head into whatever you can do inside, which for him was a computer. So he learned lots about computers from young, when the internet was rampant with viruses, and he had viruses. He had to learn how to, like, remove viruses from his own PC and, like, go into systems and change all these things. Like, he had to do all that, and so he got really into PC stuff. He's into programming because of probably much of the same stuff, where he just had to get into the inner workings of his computer for some reason, and he found out that he could... Gracie, no. He found out that he could, you know, write a script or something that would fix a problem, whatever. So he got into programming in general, and he's very tech oriented, and it started at a young age. So everything he does is on an analytical level. How can he improve it? How can he make it better? Because that's kind of what he did when he was growing up. You know, and so I don't fault him for it. I think, you know, he's really smart. Gracie, no, you gotta move. You're beautiful and you're perfect, but you're literally, you cannot lay on my mixer and do the voice changer and the microphone muting and all that other stuff. You just be very good over here and I'll give you lots of pets. Yeah, you like this, don't you? Anyway, so that's how he got to be in his current state of things, and whatever. He's a genuinely good guy. Good dude, great dude to talk to, great to hang out with, very down to earth. We'll talk about life. But the moment tech gets involved, I don't think he realizes it, but he's got this thing where he doesn't have to prove that he's better with his tech, but if something comes up, he always has the better thing. And like, you could never be like, oh man, I think I like my version more. Because he will be like, objectively, mine is better. And I don't think you can really say that about a game. Whether or not something is objectively better than another one, just because it looks better or has better models or whatever. I don't care about the models, so that adds 0 points to a scale of, is this better? Like, people play games for different reasons. You know, if he played Outward, he would look at, like, maybe some of the water textures and be like, is there a mod to update the water textures? You know, like, he might get into that if he cared enough about the game. I don't think he likes a game like Outward enough to actually wants to do something like that, though. So I purposely install mods for stuff that looks awful but makes me laugh. Turning Ornstein's mode to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. I mean, he gets a laugh out of, like, the meme things, too, but, like, as soon as he catches wind that there's a high resolution texture pack, some sort of HD anything, he's downloading it. He's installing it. He's comparing the old and the new to make sure that it looks better. I'm like,
What do you need?
unless this HD texture pack is night and day different, like N64 to, you know, PS6 graphics change, I'm not getting it. I don't care. You know, that's just where I am. Gracie, I will pet you away from the mixer, please. Oh wait, I will pet you over here. You can be very good right here. I stopped petting her, so that was a problem. Let's see. Sometimes it's great to just drop all of my hyper-focus onto someone, then saying, yeah, cool. Maybe he isn't aware that he does that. I don't think he is aware that he does that. And I don't really feel like calling him out on it, because I don't think he would agree or see it that way. God. Oh, Gracie, just lay down. Stop complaining, lay down, and be flat, okay? Just do the cat thing. And since I'm just talking and petting a cat, because she demands attention, we can now just see the flat cat. And she is purring. Despite what her tail body language is saying, she is purring. So, anyway, yeah, I think that's really just what's going on, and I don't know, he just cares about that level of stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't. I don't need my games to look 1440p. I just switched this over to my neck. That was weird. I don't need to, you know, switch my games to 1440p and have the highest resolutions of everything. I don't care. Like, I had a 1080p monitor before this one, and he was all like, he had a 4K monitor, and he was like, oh, 4K really isn't all it cracked up to be. It kills your game's performance just to, whatever, just to have the slightly improved graphics. In fact, you can't really tell a difference between 1440p and 4K. I was like, well, I can't really tell a difference between 1080p and 1440. He's like, oh no, you can't. You definitely can. And the reason why he was saying stuff like that is because he had a 1440p monitor and decided that 1440p was the best value monitor that you could ever have. Because he didn't like 4K, and he didn't like how, you know, whatever, bad 1080p looked. So he got a 1440, and that was perfect for him, so that is the best monitor. And he will argue with you on why his decision is right. So I just don't talk that tech stuff with him. I just don't. Cat redeemed cat cam. Yes, she is here. If I can stretch this a little bit more, we can get a better... There we go. A little bit more room. We can get a better view of her face. Gracie, say hi to everybody. Look at how pretty you are. Huh? What was that all about? What are you doing? What is this? What is this? Did you have enough pets? Did you get hyperactive? Did I overstimulate you? My beloved menace. That's what you are. You are a menace. Mm-hmm. Can I? No. We're not allowed to. Not allowed. If I try to pet, no. Not allowed to pet. You silly cat. What is this? She is definitely being Gracie. Back to all this. Yeah, I do have a few scars from my but they're my war scars. I'll have you know, I fought in many, many wars. I am a veteran. What wars, you ask? The war versus Razor Mittens. Razor Mitten War 1 through 14. Yeah, check containers around town. I did see that other message while I was fighting Gracie. Veteran of cat scratches. Yes. I can get a lot of money, but I can't get arrows. Give me a fishing harpoon. The cooking pot doesn't do anything. That just turns it into a helmet. Look, please do not lay on the mixer. Hey, can you stop touching the mouse? You're making the game freak out. Look you. Hey. You don't get treats for being bad. Sit. 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 You gonna do the thing that I'm asking you to do? You want treat, you sit. 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 Sit your butt down. Okay, no treat for you. Okay. Yeah, the cooking pot helmet is pretty funny. Full menace mode today, quite possibly. I don't know. She was fine when I started streaming. She's got food. She's got water. I pet and play with her a little bit before and started stream, so she got attention. We haven't even been streaming that long. It's been 2.5 hours almost. It is probably time for me to get up, get more water, and take an actual break. And during that time, I can play with her to try to wear her out some more. She wants to, like, lay down on the mixer. But she's only doing that, I think, because she wants attention. Listen, little Miss Sharp. Calm down. I get you. Okay. I'm finding great stuff for money, not scrap. I know. Oh, hello. A dagger. I didn't know there was a chest back here. Oh, we got an axe. Dagger. Axe. This is just gonna be cloth. I'm doing better now. I'd like to have at least like 80 arrows in reserve before I try to go through a dungeon with the recurve bow. Which, by the way, is still thirsty. So no vampiric bow anytime soon.
Can I help you?
Yeah, dude, you can have that, and you can have... I'm not traveling anytime soon, you can have those rations. I don't need more mana stones. I have like 300 of them. Wait, does he sell anything? He sells bows. Okay, he doesn't really sell anything that matters. I know it takes quite a bit to quench the weapon. I guess I'm buying another pickaxe and a thing just to scrap them. Yeah, I know it takes a lot to quench. I remember reading that I think it was like 17,000 for a weapon, then the bow I think is 15,000, and something else is like 12,000 maybe. Health damage in order to quench it. That's a fair amount of arrows. We'll probably be okay for a bit. My overall bag weight is kind of high. I'm not doing any alchemy while I'm out and about, so I might as well store this. Like, I don't... The alchemy kit was for me to make charges, but now that I have the rune magic, the making of charges can wait while until I get back home, if I can even make them. So I'll put the alchemy kit away. That'll save some weight. I don't really cook too much when I'm out there, but it's good to have a cooking pot. So alchemy kit away. That can go away. This can go away. That can go away. I don't need the lexicon. I could actually sell that. I had that for testing rune magic a little bit, a long time ago. Now I can just
Well,
sell
what do
that.
you need?
And when I come back into town next time, hopefully they have restocked. I want to say it was like 17 for most weapons, like one-handed, two-handed, or otherwise. They reduced bow from 17 to 15 to help that, because bows just don't really do that much damage. And arrows being an ammo that you have to worry about conserving, like, I think that's what may have happened. And then something else, I don't know what the vampiric weapons are off the top of my head. If there's is there a vampiric gun? Because maybe that's the lower one, but I'm pretty sure there's one that's a lower tier than the bow, for much the same reason, is that it's kind of hard to get whatever ammo or whatever to use the weapon that frequently. Dagger, I think it was the dagger. I think it was the dagger, because the dagger is like skill based, right? You can't fight with a dagger, you kind of have to use your skills. So I think they reduced dagger to like 12 or 13k, because you can't actually fight with a dagger. I think that's what it was. I'm not even sure that I'm gonna use the vampiric bow. I just, like... from what I saw, it was 48 base damage, with then a health drain, or health absorb, because it's vampiric. And that seems pretty good, because the horror bow is 40 base damage, with even with the enchant, you get the decay and stuff on top of it. And then you get the poison effect. Like, overall, that's probably better, but it really depends on something being weak to decay, and a lot of things here aren't. Like, the Immaculates and these things are, yes, they are, but a lot of places have golems, and they're not, so... that doesn't really help too much with them. Yeah, that's why I'm going with the vampiric bow, because it actually seemed pretty good. The other ones don't seem amazing, but, you know, if it's like a one-handed weapon, it kind of makes sense that it's not amazing, because you get the health absorb on top of it. So, you know, I can kind of see the argument for that. I want to enchant my robes with some of the enchantments that add extra movement speed and stamina reduction, since I'm doing this kind of like magic trap archer thing. Let's do loading docks first. Now I have Gracie fur all over my face, in my nose, everywhere. She's shedding like crazy. And I brush her very regularly, like every other day. In fact, I found it's better because the brushes that I have aren't grabbing a lot of fur, and the ones that I do have that are, she doesn't like. So I found it just better to like wet my hands and then pet her, and I'll just repeatedly pet her until just to, basically I'm not getting that much more fur. They're not like dripping wet, but they're moist, so the fur should stick to my hands. She enjoys the free pets anyway, so it's a win-win. She's okay with brushing. It's just the brushes she likes aren't really meant for grabbing fur. So 5 metal scrap. Nice. I don't have any more wood on me. The radius on the rune traps are kind of wild. Like, they don't really have to hit the trap. I know that there's like a detonate ability too that you can do. But I've heard that there's a timing where you can get both the trap explosion and the detonation explosion. I can't really figure out a use case for the detonation other than maybe it does more damage. Because it's just really hard to get that to get them to like get close enough for the detonation to actually really work without them stepping on it. Yeah, rusty golems are what I was looking for out in the overworld. I could have sworn I found a ton of them when I first got to Harmattan, and now like I'm finding more normal ones. I don't know if that's intended or if I'm just unlucky, but there were like every golem I was fighting when I first got to this region was like rusty, with one good one is what I found, and now all of them are fine. Well, not all of them, but most of them are fine. Really weird. Yeah, I want to play around with the extra detonation for sure. Well, it's looking like there might be a body down there, but I need to check this stuff. Okay. So, like, you... Let's just slow you down for a second. So if I was trying to do this, I would do orange, then green to make the trap, and then I would probably do orange, and then wait for him to get closer. Yeah, like that, and get it. I figured that was the timing because you kind of have to prep an orange before. I kind of figured it was something like that because I did some testing and I was like, oh wait, I'm not getting it to proc fast enough, so I have to like prep one in advance. But, you know, unfortunately, for the vampiric bow to be, you know, a vampiric bow, I have to do damage with the bow. So, I have to fight things. Oh, that's not the right thing. I didn't want to do that. I guess since I cast that, though, I might as well give myself free protection, because why not? That was kind of a waste of arrows. Doc's elevator key. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. But I guess it's in some of the corrupted areas. Hello. What did I hit? Ah. You come back. Where's the other one that activated? Over there somewhere? I'm gonna leave him down for now until I find something. I'm gonna go down here. Did I get it? Yeah, elevator key. Got it. I don't know how I didn't realize that they keep putting the essential keys and whatever you need on those specific bodies. It wasn't until you mentioned that there was a body that's kind of obvious. I'm like, you know what? There is always a body that's kind of obvious. I never really thought about it, though. Okay. Or does it automatically move? It sounds like it moves on its own, so that's cool. Ah. Yeah, there's that thing. Okay, cool. And that'll get me up here where those levers probably were moving something that I needed. Loading docks key. Okay, not the lower loading docks key, but just the normal loading docks key. Oh, there's another one. Hello. Didn't mean to do that, but kind of meant to do that. Aw, it went away. Crap. That's fine. As long as one of them was gotten, that's fine. Oh, I missed. What the heck? Unfortunate, those golems are giving me not metal scrap. Oh, hello. Yeah, you are gonna get a special trap. One of these. We'll do ethereal. We got a ton of these ghost eyes. Come here, buddy. Come here, dude. I need you to come step on this trap. Come on. I got like 3 traps for you. One more. I thought it was an ethereal eye one. I kind of messed up on that. I thought it was just gonna explode. I forgot I did the damage over time nerve gas one. That's okay. Sword golem. Loading docks key. Got it. Take this for magic stuff. Should probably eat some food. Jerky, at least. I guess since this place is corrupted, I should probably be eating cheesecake. Come on, OBS, what are you doing? Stop streaming on Twitch. I can chat actively with my chatters on Twitch. Oh, hurry up, OBS. Something's going on with Twitch servers right now. I don't want to close OBS, because if I close OBS, then I have to fix YouTube too. Because we are perfectly fine on YouTube. And if I stop